Hello and welcome back to another Doctor Who figure related video. In today's Doctor Who figure related video I'll be taking a look at one of the new upcoming summer B&M sets, which is the Keys of Marinus set containing two Voord and Ian Chesterton, our first 1960s companion. So I want to say a massive thank you to Character Options and Evolution PR for sending this advanced copy of the set over for me to review. Really do appreciate it. So the way this video is going to work is I'm going to take a look at the packaging, the articulation and detail, and a comparison to how Character Options have made these figures. So if you're a fan of your Doctor Who figures, then please do subscribe, because there's plenty of Doctor Who figure related content on the channel and upcoming figure related content on the channel as well. So without further ado, let's begin the review of the Keys of Marinus set. Taking a look at the packaging, so we've got the traditional style guide packaging motif there, Doctor Who, the TARDIS, the name of the set there, a great window box displaying the figures from either side, Character Options 5+. The back of the box we have again the traditional style guide packaging motif, the prototype images of the figures, and a new addition for these figure packs is a bio on the actual story, so do feel free to pause if you want to know more about the Keys of Marinus. And another first for these free packs is a background, much like the TARDIS and History of the Daleks set, so that's really nice colorization of some bits from Marinus. So I think, yeah, it's from various bits of the episode. So I think episode 2, when everything's sort of an illusion and it's actually quite a horrendous place, but it's a really nice little backdrop for the figures and a great little display piece if you want to display it. The first figure I'll be taking a look at is Ian Chesterton, our first 1960s companion in 5-inch form. You know, the B&M line, I have to say, just is full of surprises. You know, to think last year we had the Romanas, this year we've got Ian Chesterton. This just feels like an absolute fever dream for us Doctor Who figure fans. So let's take a look at the articulation, then we'll take a look at the detail for this figure and then the comparison. So take a look at the articulation for Ian. The head can move side to side, arms can do a full 360-degree turn, we have a bicep swivel, 90-degree at the elbow, 360-degree turn at the wrist, we do have 360-degree turn at the waist, the legs can kick out but are slightly hindered by the PVC jacket and can kick backwards, and of course do a little bit of the splits there, bend at the knee. Take a look at the detail for Ian Chesterton. Yes, my boy, let's start off with your hair sculpt. Yes, let's take a look at Ian's hair sculpt, which is done really well. We've got a slight grey wash over it, which really does help accentuate the hair sculpt, really gives that sort of sense of depth and texture to the hair and just makes it look very lifelike. Again, the grey wash will continues all the way through, a slight grey wash throughout there to show sort of the individual strands of the hair, and just really highlights the sculpting detail of Ian's hair, which is done very nice. You've got sort of Ian's 1960s style haircut, which is done very well. And my particular favourite thing about the hair sculpt is Ian's little quiff there with the sort of swooshed over hair. It's very nice, and of course the grey wash really does help accentuate that sort of textured detail of the little quiff there, which is done really well. I really like it. The hair sculpt is done brilliantly. You can see his little side parting there. It's just done very well. I have to say, I do like the hair sculpt for this figure. In terms of the head sculpt, this is probably the main talking point. I was a little bit skeptical about it when I first saw it, but it's one of those figures what definitely looks a lot better in hand, and I have to say, from certain angles you really do get William Russell from this likeness. And it definitely is a figure what looks a lot better in hand, and it is a very good likeness, I have to say. It is very good. Again, the detail for the actual paint apps on the face, really good. Again, we've got the slight sort of dimples there, the sort of jawline just about there, really nice. You've got the lines on the face there, really helps give that sort of lifelike effect, which is done very well. Very nice likeness to William Russell. Certain angles you definitely do get William Russell within this likeness. It's done very well. Do like the head sculpt for this Ian figure. I'm sure we'll see it again in the near future. Hopefully we can have some Ian variants. So if we take a look at the costume, which I guess the elephant in the room is Ian did not wear this in the Keys of Marinus. He was still wearing his Marco Polo getup, but you know, this is Ian's iconic look, I guess, the sort of traditional suit. But the paint apps are done very well. We've got this sort of grey charcoal suit, and we've got a very nice vibrant white shirt, and the tie is very 60s, isn't it? I love the pattern. The paint apps are incredibly crisp within this, no paint bleeds at all, so well done to Character Options for not sort of having sloppy paint apps. It's just a very nice crisp paint app. The suit itself, we've got a nice little lapel detail there, of course the suit jacket sort of pocket there. The buttons are done very well. We've got a slight little black wash to really accentuate the detail there, which is done really well to highlight the button detail. Of course we've got the pocket sculpted on there, which is done really well, and we have the buttons painted black to really accentuate that detail. Interestingly, Ian's got a sort of wedding ring, so is he married to Barbara secretly and he just forgot to take the wedding ring off? Another great detail on the suit itself is we've got the shirt detail poking out there with the white cuffs of the shirt, which really does pop on the figure against the sort of grey charcoal suit. Trousers are very good. We've got the creasing detail to give it that lifelike effect, which is done very well. The shoes, again, we've got a slight detailing there, a sort of a brogue design. Very nice sort of creasing detail of the seam of the trousers. So yeah, very good detail. Moving on to the comparison, so in order to make our new Ian Chesterton figure, they've used the John Sim Master body, the suit figure there, and it works very well. It's a nice little body for Ian. I would have expected them to use the primeval James Lester figure, but I guess they could save that for Turlo. But interestingly, Ian's hand seems to be slightly different. As you can see, it's more open palm than the John Sim Master, so that's quite a little interesting thing. But yeah, the main base for this figure is the John Sim Master. Moving on to our next figures, the Voord. Oh my goodness, it feels so good to have these figures, because for so many years we've been saying, oh, it'd be lovely to have a Voord figure, you know, use the Sharos Jek figure, and we finally got ourselves some Voord, our first sort of creature from the first Doctor era, what sort of humanoid, what isn't a Dalek, which is great. We've had the Robomen as well, but that's not really a creature. This is our first proper alien humanoid for the first Doctor figure shelf, which is tremendously exciting to have these. Very iconic 60s monsters, I would say. So let's take a look at the articulation for both Voord, and then we'll do the detail for these figures. The articulation for the Voord, the head can do a full 360-degree turn. The arms are ball jointed, and the arms can do a full 360-degree turn. We have 360 at the bicep, bend at the elbow, 360-degree turn at the wrist. We do have waist articulation, but it's very stiff. I guess that can do a 360-degree turn. The legs can kick out because they're on a T-crotch joint, and of course they can do the splits. We have 360-degree turn at the thigh, bend at the knee, 360-degree at the flipper, I guess. Taking a look at the detail for the Voord, if we take a look at this sort of a demon Teletubby, I guess, with the weird antenna, I've got to say that this one's Yartek, because I remember one in the story being Yartek, so I shall call you Yartek Voord. So we take a look at the head sculpt. I have to say, really good little head sculpt. We've got the little breathing holes there of the mask, and of course we have the illusion of the actor inside the mask itself with a slight jawline there. Really good attention to detail. The actual antenna thing itself is made of a soft rubber, so it's not going to snap off and break, so it's got a bit of flexibility to it. The eyes are done really well. We've finished with a sort of gloss black finish, which really does stand out against the sort of matte black finish of the actual helmet and mask itself, which is done really well. Again, we've got this nice sort of structured detail of the mask, and of course we have a fin motif detail, much like a shark, which is done really well. Very much fits the Voord of this sort of being this sort of aquatic species. Again, we have the detail of the sort of collar of the wetsuit there to give the illusion that it's all one piece, and then we have the sort of detail of sort of the collarbones from the Axon Man, but it works very well because this Voord goes to the gym, because he works out, does the Artek. The belt is done really well. We sort of highlighted sort of section pouches of the belt itself to show that the Voord's carrying other things, and of course we have the little dagger pouch, which we'll talk about in a minute. Again, we've got a great sort of stippling detail there, which is really nice. Really does stand out on the actual figure, having that sort of silver stippling. The torso piece, again, we've got the great sort of creasing detail to give it that sort of lifelike effect of sort of a wetsuit, and again we've got the seams of the actual costume there, which is done really well. And of course the arms, we've got the seam of the actual costume. The hands are a new sculpt, which is wonderful. We've got a slight cuff detail there to give the illusion of the wetsuit, and of course the fingers are all individually there, which is done really well. And of course we have the webbed hand motif, which really does make the figure pop, and of course having that sort of black gloss finish again really makes the figure pop against sort of the matte black body finish to it. And of course we have the gripped hand there for the little dagger there as well. If we move down, again we've got the creases on the legs there to give that lifelike effect, and we have new feet. We have the Voord flippers, which is wonderful. Great sort of detailing there, the section detail, and of course we even have the little strap detail. Would have been nice to have a little bit of silver detail there just to highlight the strap there. That would have been a nice little touch, and of course that carries all the way across the Voord little flipper, which is great. Really nice little attention to detail. In terms of detail for Yartek's friend, the main difference is the little triangle antenna, very much for say soft or rubber plastic. The mask is slightly different, as you can see, but it's got a slightly darker, well, lighter finish compared to Yartek. As you can see, and the eyes are a lot more glossy on Yartek here. Again, very slight paint difference here with the sort of silver sort of stippling there, which really does make stand out on the figure. Again, very much the same detail. That's only sort of the minor change. Accessory wise, the Voord come with their little trusty daggers, if I can get it out, which is done very well. Very nice sort of detail with the sort of silver handle with the sort of black paint apps to highlight the sort of handle of the little dagger itself, and that's just been moulded in some silver plastic there. If you want the Voord to hold their dagger sort of pointing downwards, you've sort of got to balance it in the hand, because the hands are made of a very solid plastic. It's not a very malleable hand, so it sort of balances within the hand itself. But if you want to have the dagger pointing upwards, I would suggest putting the dagger through the top of the Voord's hand and just poking it up like so. The dagger, of course, can fit into the little Voord's little sheath like that, very nice and snug. That's not going to fall out, so that is a good safe way to store your Voord's little dagger so you don't lose it. So the comparison for the Voord, so the main body for the Voord is the Axon Man and of course Shara's Jek, because this uses basically the same figure really. It's the same body sculpt as the Axon Man, as you can see there. So what they've done is, of course, they've given the Voord new hands to sort of match the sort of look within the actual story, with the sort of webbed hand look there. And what they've done is they've actually retooled the sort of Voord's leg. What they've done is they've actually retooled the sort of lower half of the leg to allow for the new webbed feet, and of course that has ankle articulation. I thought they would use the Shara's Jek legs, because of course the boots are articulated on that, so they've done some retooling on that to accommodate for the Voord's or flippers. So that is really good work by character to give us this sort of Voord figure with the new head sculpt, new hand sculpt, and of course the flipper as well. So that's really cool. So that is the comparison for the Voord. So what are my concluding thoughts on the Keys of Marinus set? Well, I have to say that I absolutely love it. I think that this set has something for everyone. It has your monsters, it has your companions. I think that this keeps many people happy. I myself have been wanting more Doctor Who monsters in the figure line. It adds variety to the 1960s figure shelf, and just to have a companion to go alongside your first Doctor figure, just by adding him there, it just makes for a great little display piece, doesn't it? And the diorama really makes this set pop as well. It's really wonderful. The Ian figure is a great addition, and doesn't it look wonderful to have Ian next to a first Doctor figure? Hopefully we can have a Barbara and Susan to add that, because you can't really have Ian without Barbara. So yeah, absolutely wonderful to have an Ian Chesterton figure. The Voord figures are a great addition. The new tooling really makes a figure pop, and having the little accessories of the dagger, truly wonderful, and just wonderful to have a different 60s creature on the shelf. What isn't a Dalek? It is wonderful. So yeah, more monsters please, character. It is truly wonderful. So I definitely do recommend this set, just because of the sheer iconicness of Ian Chesterton, because everybody loves Ian Chesterton, and of course everyone's been wanting Voord for years, and we finally have two of them. It is a tremendous set, so I highly recommend this set when it is released. Again, a massive thank you to Character Options and Evolution PR for sending this set over for me to review in advance. It's wonderful and highly recommend it, so go and buy it. It's wonderful. So please do like and subscribe for more Doctor Who figure related content, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.